Flying Pigskin back on the air after another Cincinnati Bengals win. The Bengals are 5-0 after a big win on Sunday over the Seattle Seahawks with Keenan Singleton. Ken Brew, Keenan, 5-0. You're smiling. You got to be happy. I think everybody's happy in this town.
You got to be happy. I think everyone's listening to some Bill Withers this morning. A little lovely day. Just an amazing day Sunday for the Bengals. That 20-point comeback in overtime in the fourth quarter. I think you got to start believing in this team finally. I don't think there should be any more doubters. You got to believe starting now.
I would think it would be very difficult not to.
Yeah, there's still some haters out there.
You have to be a cynic not to believe in what this team is capable of doing this year.
It seems like it's a town full of cynics, though. We got into that last week.
Absolutely. It's a town full of sky is falling. Hey, you can follow us on Twitter. It's the hashtag Flying Pigskin Show. And then also you can download the app, the WCPO.com app. Do that, and then you can not only watch us live on that, you can also go back and see it when we have it posted 24/7. And we have podcasts available, too, on iTunes, among other places. So we've got a big show coming up. We have Rodney Heath, former Bengal cornerback.
Saw him on the sideline yesterday.
Well, he's the fashion police guy.
He is. I hope maybe he can critique us a little bit later on today.
He might be able to. Bob Holtzman of ESPN used to work here at WCPO. He's going to stop by. He covered the game yesterday. And Tanya O'Rourke from Night on Your Side, who has her finger on the trigger of social media. In fact, when you think of social media, the first person you think of is
Tanya O'Rourke.
No, Zuckerman, the guy that found it. But she would be the second guy, the person you would think about
Al
too.
Gore.
Zuckerberg?
Yeah, it's Zuckerman, isn't it?
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerman. Yeah. I don't know.
I still think about Tom from MySpace.
But first, let's go on location to downtown Cincinnati, because standing by among the Vox Populi is our very own Mr. Satin. Satin, good afternoon.
Hey, what's happening, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. You look good.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I feel good. 5-0. You know, all we got to do is just keep winning. We're the best. What else can you say?
How would you describe the pulse of downtown right now, Satin?
I tell you what, I got one little beef, all right? One little beef. We're standing out here in front of Graders, right? The guy walked right behind me with a whole tray of donuts, smelling great. He just kept walking, didn't offer Mr. Satin one. So I'm a little bummed out on not getting a donut, but we're just going to call him out. Maybe next time we can get a donut over here. But other than that, it's amazing. You know, people are electric down here.
Electric.
Everybody's pro Bengals. How can you not root for this team?
Satin, here's how it works in TV. You walk in there with a microphone and something that resembles a camera into Graders and say, "I'll put you on TV if you give me some donuts."
Yeah, you know, that's a good point. Do they understand what an iPhone and Skype is, though?
No, you might have to explain it to some of the employees there what it is.
That's what I do That's what I do every Friday night. It's a free meal for me every Friday night football game.
I know.
Really? I like that. Nice.
Satin 11 wins to 16. Can they go 16-0?
I'm feeling it, you guys. You know, if we can get 6-0, get to this break, nothing but up. 16-0. Let's do it.
Well, you're going to be back a little bit later on. You're going to corral some people, right? Some Vox Populi.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk to a couple of folks in a bit.
Okay, who are you going to? Will you get like more than one?
We'll work on it.
Yeah. No.
Maybe if you get some donuts, that might attract people.
Yes.
I like where you guys are heading right now.
And if they don't understand Skype and a microphone, just buy some inexpensive.
Yeah.
And then you have like a
that.
satin donut party.
Look out for a big donut bill.
Yeah, just a satin donut party down there, and maybe you can attract some people. That'd be fun.
I love it. Maybe Buskins has some black and orange cookies that we can, get a dozen and just, offer them to the, don't offer them to kids, just adults walking by.
Now accepting sponsors.
I don't want to be that guy, so that's a good point.
No. Yeah, stay away from the children. All right, Satin, we'll get back to you in a second. Thanks, bud.
Sounds good.
I thought the most impressive thing in that game yesterday was the fact that they woke up in the third quarter, but there was no one play that actually made them wake up. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, that happened, and then all of a sudden they started playing.
It was an avalanche of things.
Yeah,
right?
I think the Seahawks, I don't know. I think they lost interest, to be honest. I think they got up big, and I think they kind of lost interest a little bit.
They became a little predictable in their offense. I don't think they went overly conservative, but I think they, rightly so. They felt like they had their game in hand, so you don't have to go for the big plays anymore. I'll tell you this. If that Tyler Lockett catch, if he catches that ball in bounds, I think the Bengals wind up losing that game. The one so other than that, you can't really blame the Seahawks. The Bengals were just a better team when it came down to the nitty-gritty.
I thought Lockett could have gotten both feet down. I just don't think he concentrated.
He's a college guy still. He's got to get out of that college mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a college guy, but he's 5 games into his pro career. You got to get that second foot down. You got to. Absolutely. All right, joining us now for a little Vox Populi, speaking of such, She's the one who puts the social into social media.
Can we
it's
call
our
her
own Tanya O'Rourke, fresh
Fox?
off the noon set.
That's
as we
I
say.
literally just walked off there and into here.
What was the big story? It was a truck accident.
There's a
right?
big accident on 75 northbound, but it's clear now.
Everything's fine?
Everything's fine.
Good. I'm going that way here in a little bit. I want to make sure everything's...
You would be going south. And
No, I'm going north.
No, it was in Kentucky.
Oh, I'm not going that way.
Good.
Good.
See,
See, everything works out on this
I
show.
want to call Tanya Fox Pop. You like? Can we do that, by the way? She's foxy. No?
I like it.
I don't know.
Can we get HR in here, please?
Let's do it.
Marlene?
So what are people tweeting about here?
All right, so we have spent some time talking about, like, you know, this guy and that person talking about what's going on social media about the Bengals. But you know what? This week I thought, you know, it's time. I looked at all the certified, nationally known people. Are they talking about the Bengals? What are they saying about the Bengals? And they are talking about the Bengals.
Really? Who?
All right, so Trey Wingo, which is the NFL Live host.
Yeah, I know Trey.
Yep. The same old Bengals would have gone quietly after being down 24-7. These are not the same old Bengals.
No.
Agreed.
Very true, right?
Very much so.
Mike Greenberg, of course, you know.
Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike, impressed with the Bengals, impossible not to be.
Right.
You gotta like that, right?
Like it. Greeny, I like Greeny anyway.
I do too.
Yeah.
ESPN's Coley Harvey.
That's the local. Is that
Yeah,
the
he's
local guy?
Yeah,
okay.
he's local.
Linebacker Vincent Ray said this Bengals win showed the team's resiliency. He added, "We finished as a team today."
Yeah.
Vinny Ray.
He got beaten up in that game
yeah,
too.
he
He
did.
was
He's-
really struggling.
Talked to him a bit after the game. He's complaining about his back, but he's looking forward to Vontaze Burfict coming back because some of those reps will be spread out.
Well, he's the leading tackler again yesterday. He had 13 tackles.
And he's not a big guy, so you
No,
know
he's
he's taking
not.
a lot of
He's a
punishment.
smart guy though. He went to Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have celebrities
Thank
talking
you.
about.
Oh, yeah. Tell us.
I'm trying to keep you on track.
I thought she was. Yeah.
So, Chris Pratt, you guys know actor Chris Pratt?
No.
Heard of him.
What does he
Yes,
do?
I've heard.
What's he in?
Okay, so what was
Jurassic
that movie?
World.
Jurassic World, yeah, the
Okay.
biggest
Parks
movie
and
of the year.
Recreation.
No, he
Parks
wasn't.
and Rec was my favorite.
He was in Jurassic Park, but like 20
Jurassic
years
World.
ago. Oh, that's
World,
the
the,
new one.
the latest
the recent one.
He
How
was
many
the-
times can you like kill dinosaurs? I'm just asking. How many times can you dust that off?
If you keep making them, we're gonna have to keep.
Is he one of
killing
those Disney stars?
Well, I just
No,
like
he's
that.
not a Disney star. Didn't you see Parks and Rec? Great show.
them. He's actually a pretty
Wait a
funny
minute.
guy.
I worked at the network that had Parks and Rec. It was not a great show, trust me.
Well, I love it.
Okay.
On Netflix. So Chris Pratt said, when you come back from 17 down, you deserve the win. Good
Okay.
win, Cincinnati. Gotta
Yes,
love that.
I like it.
The band Walk the Moon.
Yeah, I know those dudes.
I mean, they're from Cincinnati.
Yeah,
but,
they did
but,
the
but
All-Star game, right? Right.
Absolutely, but their tweet was, "Nuge for the win."
Yes.
Keep them
Mike
coming,
Nugent.
Bengals,
I like it.
Who Day Nation,
I like
and a bunch of
I
hashtags
like that.
and stuff.
I like
So the
it.
national folks that are loving the Bengals, are we still thinking that's cynical inside the city limits, though?
I ate breakfast this morning after the morning news featuring the lovely Tanya O'Rourke.
Yeah,
I went to
I'm
Frisch's
everywhere.
and had breakfast. And
Where'd
there was
you
a
go, Matt? Where'd you go for
I went to
breakfast?
Frisch's, Covington, and
What'd you have?
I had the number one.
Oh, well, that's
Yes, over easy with bacon.
great.
Just like the Bengals, number one.
But I have my Bengals shirt on. A couple people said, you know, oh, the Bengals game was great yesterday. And then this one guy he was like at the table. One guy looked at me and said, oh, good to be a Bengals fan today. And then this other guy, I couldn't even see him. He was around the corner. Goes, yeah, but they keep losing in the playoffs. Every time they keep losing in the playoffs. I was just like,
Look, they're
he
you
wouldn't
know,
let it go. He brought it up right away. They were like, 5-0. I don't care. They keep losing in the playoffs.
I'm not going to lie. I'm watching that third quarter, and my husband's peeling me off the ceiling because I have gone to, oh, they're turned into the Bengals again. What happened? They're the Bengals. Yeah, and he kept saying, keep the faith, it's going to be good.
Well, you know, but that's a major problem in this town is people look at January, and it's like, just enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
Carol Lewis, the great author, said, if you don't know where you're going, any road can get you there, right?
Right.
Enjoy the ride. We know where we want it to go. Let's wait till it gets there, but enjoy this ride.
I agree, step by step.
Okay, but Cincinnati in here, we enjoy the ride until we go smashing into the wall at the end. So I'm a true believer. I believe in the Bengals. I do. I'm the one who said last week they would beat the Seahawks. You recall that?
I said
agree.
that too.
We all said it.
We all said that.
We all said it.
Yeah, you're not the
All
only one
right.
who said that last week.
I knew what I was talking about.
But-
I didn't go against you.
No, but is there some actor there that maybe we would all know that's doing something?
No, but here's something that I really like though. Geno Atkins
I like Geno.
tweeted to the
He said
to the
something?
on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Great team win. It's a great day to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Thanks to the fans for having the jungle rockin' hoop."
It was a playoff atmosphere for the first time this year.
Yeah.
It was a great stadium
Yeah.
atmosphere. A lot of Seahawks fans, they kind of brought the noise.
Yeah.
But obviously the Bengals fans washed them out.
I heard from people who have worked in media, sports in this town for a very, very, very long time, that was one of the single best games they've ever witnessed in person. You agree?
You
If
talking
you're a
about
Bengals
me?
fan.
Any of you?
Are you talking
can
about
all
me?
talk. I was not talking about you,
Oh,
but
okay.
I was talking to somebody else.
Okay.
But shall remain nameless. I have a question for the two of you. Who do you guys call as the star of the game?
Oh, you mean yesterday?
Yeah, who is your?
Oh,
Dunlap.
Dalton. Dalton took that game over. If you think about this, he hits Eifert for the touchdown that makes
Yeah.
it 24-14, and then he wills another touchdown by plowing into the end zone on a.
That might have been the play of the game.
See,
I will
Spike
concede
that
that.
ball.
He's doing things that people were upset with him for all those years that he just couldn't put the team on his back
Yeah.
and get him to a win, and he did it last year.
He was
Matt,
Brady-esque.
we talked about this all last year. Last year, did we not?
Yes, we did.
And he delivered. I mean, he delivered.
I agree, but I still, I am still I'm more optimistic than I was, but he's still, that was probably the biggest game yesterday in the afternoon. But the thing that they haven't been able to do is the Sunday night game, or the Monday night game, or the playoff game.
But
And
it
they
was
still
a
haven't-
national game.
I'm
see,
not.
they
I'm
got
all
to
I'm
play
saying
what's in
is,
front of them.
I think they're
Yeah.
going to do.
That's the
I think they're
January
gonna-
thing right there.
I think they're going to do better than they have in the past, hopefully. But first of all, they could play a good game and still lose. They haven't even played a good game, so we're hoping that they get to that point. But they still haven't gotten over the hump of the primetime national game.
They haven't gotten there yet, though. Let's
I
worry
agree,
about
I
that when
agree.
they get there.
I agree. And I totally agree. I'm just saying they've built themselves up just like they did last year. They were 3 or 4-0. They had the Sunday night game with the Patriots and laid an egg.
Yeah, but
So when they, the first time they get prime time, I think this year is against the Browns. So hopefully they can handle that.
You guys
Let's
are off
hope
track.
so. For goodness sake, it's the Browns.
My player of the game, by the way, was Adam Jones. When you guys were talking about crowd noise and all that,
Pac-Man
the crowd
was
did not start getting into
Right.
it till he
Sorry.
returned the punt.
let me just
You
say,
know what I mean?
Let me just say this. They are out of their minds if they don't sign this guy to a new contract at the end of the season. Now,
Jones?
Now they
think
talked
he's the
before
best
the year.
player.
I know the numbers they talked about. This guy is the best cornerback they have. He is
Yeah.
better than Hall. He is better than Kirkpatrick. He's better than Denard. He's better than all of those guys. And he's 32, or will be 32, but he has the body of like a 26, 27-year-old because he was suspended and he was hurt all those years.
But also he's got heart. I mean, that guy.
Yeah.
I read an article that said that he kind of rallied everyone around and said, "Come on,
Yeah.
we got to pull together."
Oh yeah, he's
And
definitely
you
a
need
vocal
that
leader.
guy,
He's
right?
definitely a
Yeah.
vocal leader on that team. If you're going to hear anything, you're going to hear Adam Jones' voice in that locker room.
And he's a game changer. That 35-yard punt return,
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
game changer. He does plays that change the course of the game.
I still got to get to who I say is
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
head.
who is your
my,
fa- yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to say that's about taking the return.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about it yesterday. Tate, do not come out.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Sit your butt down.
I think it was he got that big touchdown last week, and
I
he was kind of
don't-
feeling himself a little bit.
Last year, this was my biggest complaint. Well, one of them. Tate, do not come out of that
Right.
end zone. Sit down.
Right,
Every time yesterday. Thank you for the 10 yards.
right.
Thank you for the 10 yards.
I will say on the Adam Jones thing, at what point do you play Denard, though? I understand that you got to pay. You want to pay people. You want to keep the good talent in-house, but at some point you got to play this
Well,
first
yeah,
rounder.
They drafted him, but it's kind of like the tackles they drafted, Aboiwi and Fisher.
Yeah.
How the hell do you sit Andrew Whitworth down? How do you
No.
tell him to go away? You
You
can't.
don't until.
I think Smith.
Well, you
I
can-
think
Ready to
this is
go.
Smith's last year. I think he plays right tackle, and then Fisher slots into
Yeah.
a guard situation.
I'll tell you this, and I know I fall in love with veterans because I root for people that are at least close to me in age. I think when you got somebody that's what
Closer than 20, yeah.
closer than you,
No, they're younger than
I'm
me.
a hell of a lot closer in
Okay.
age. There's a
Let's-
vast
let's-
age.
Are we blessing ourselves too?
Continue with your point.
Well,
Pointing up a lot.
But my point
Focus, Daniel
is,
Son.
my point is this is a guy that changes the course of a game, and you can't find players like that.
Yes.
They just
He's electric.
Yes, but I want to hear.
He's
your
gotta
story.
stay healthy.
Your star of the game. Who's your star?
My star of the game, Doma Topeka.
Oh, I love him.
Boom.
Do you want to know why?
the belly
No.
rub?
The belly.
belly rub.
The hair. I mean, that's just
Oh, yeah.
awesome. No, because he went out on the coin flip for overtime, and he said, "Let's defend the south end zone." And you know why that mattered?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard about this? So we would kick to the north end zone, And you know why that mattered?
No.
Look at this. Neil deGrasse Tyson. You culture gentlemen, you surely know about this
It's
astrophysicist, right?
Mike
I
Tyson's
saw The
dad.
Martian.
Hey, Mike Tyson's dad.
I saw The Martian too. It was good. But so look at this. Right after that field goal bounced off the upright and in, this is what he tweeted. Today's Bengals winning overtime field goal was likely enabled by a third-inch deflection to the right caused by the Earth's rotation. In the northern hemisphere, Earth's Coriolis force deflects airborne north-south projectiles to the right, about half an inch per 50 yards. The Bengal Stadium isn't oriented exactly north and south, and the field goal was 42 yards, so yielding a 1/3 deflection, not 1/2.
Oh, Mike Nugent knew that.
Was this guy drunk when he was saying this stuff? Who is this guy? Is he local?
No, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I never
he's
heard of
one
him.
of the probably the most popular scientists, and
He's
I thought Bill Nye was the scientist.
He's beaten Bill Nye now.
Yeah, he's
the
pretty
Carl
amazing.
Sagan of today.
Yeah, for sure. He's really, really cool.
Where do I find him? Was
He has
he
a
on like
TV show and everything, Ken.
Yeah.
What TV is he on?
Cosmos, right?
Yeah.
No, is it that?
Yeah, it's a
something
weekly show.
it's
Is
that one
something
of our
on
shows? Is that an
PBS.
ABC show?
It's
No.
a PBS show.
It's on Netflix.
PBS. You know why I like Petco?
If it's free, it's not him,
Right.
apparently.
No, you know why I like Petco is because he has, shall we say, he
You
has.
try to teach him something, Tanya, and
No, I mean, come on. I mean, PBS. But one of the things that I think that helps Petco is he has a lot of, shall we say, ballast. You know what I'm saying?
Got a big butt.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
right. And I just don't think you can move that. I mean, you know.
Well, there's.
We were just
They
helpful.
can't-
He's a dancing
It's
bear.
we were just talking about his scientific knowledge. That's
I'm
what
just
we were talking
well.
about.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
they can't shake that groove thing when they're up against him because it is just he's built perfect for the position he plays.
You mentioned Geno Atkins in his tweet earlier. I
like
think
Geno.
having him healthy.
I like Geno.
Yeah.
I think having him healthy is kind of rising tide raises all boats. You know?
Absolutely.
I think having him healthy has made everyone on that
Yes.
defensive line great again.
And I think he's also a locker room guy. He's a clubhouse guy who's
Yes.
in there going, "Come on, let's
Geno?
get on." Yeah,
Geno's pretty quiet. He's a mouse.
he's a mouse, but isn't he quite a leader?
You can lead in, physically, sure.
Yeah, mice sometimes lead. You ever see him? Like one guy goes for the cheese and the rest of them are right behind. They all go for the. Tanya, it's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm out, I guess.
She's the best. Tanya O'Rourke. Let's bring in
It's good to see you guys.
one of the foremost
Thanks, Tanya.
authorities on defensive football in the area, and a guy who starred many years ago at the University of Minnesota and for your Cincinnati Bengals. It's our good buddy Rodney Heath. Rodney, welcome in.
Go Gophers.
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, Gophers got beat by how many? 30 Saturday?
Who did they play?
No, they won. They beat Purdue.
Did they? Well,
See?
it's Purdue.
Straighten him out, Rodney. We
That's where your
we
daughter
need some
goes to school, right?
We need some fact checking on Ken.
Now, Rodney, you're the fashion police guy down there at Paul Brown Stadium. Can you explain what that's all about?
Well, with the NFL, you have to be in compliance with whatever you're wearing. I mean, it has to be NFL or Nike, not necessarily Nike. Some of these guys have their own little Under Armour or Adidas contracts, but mainly me and Foch are the guys who go around, and I'll take the visiting team. That's why I was pretty busy with San Diego because they were out of compliance with a lot of their uniforms yesterday. Long towels with a couple guys, things you probably don't even pay attention to, jerseys hanging out, things like that. And the NFL is really cracking down hard on that. It's to a point where, if a guy doesn't comply with it, he can get pulled out of the game, regardless of who the guy is.
Have you ever fined anyone? Have you ever said you're fined?
I mean, I don't have to say it necessarily to them. It's just a guy that I designate that they have that I would deal with. That's why I was on the sideline so much yesterday because I was dealing with Seattle's guy. And I mean, by far, I thought this team would be a little bit easier. I mean, Kansas City and San Diego was pretty easy, and those guys were following in suit. But it seemed like everybody, especially on the defensive side for Seattle, was just out of compliance. So
No fun
yeah,
league.
I got somebody yesterday.
You did, huh? Who'd you get?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh.
Look at that smile on his face.
This whole game changed directions, like with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. I can't figure out what changed the momentum, what changed the tide. Why did the Bengals look like they were in a coma for 2.5 quarters and all of a sudden it changed? Did you sense anything down there that changed the course of this game?
Well, I mean, one of the things that that stood out to me the most is they kind of stayed with their game plan. I'm talking about the offensive side overall. I mean, defense was, they were playing well. I think Seattle scored a touchdown on the defensive side, so all the points weren't necessarily coming from Seattle's offense, so to speak. But I think sticking with the running game the way he was, and then the way Hugh was, and then really with Andy, the way he was commanding the game. I mean, he was making some key throws, and especially when you're moving the chains. I mean, whether it's by penalty, I mean, it was a ton of penalties yesterday.
Are you worried at all about this running game, Rodney? I mean, they really, besides that one big game from Gio, I think it was week 2, are you worried at all? The 3.5 yards per rush haven't really seemed like they've gotten off yet.
Yeah, I am. I mean, at this point, we spoke over some times before over the season about how important the running game is and how big it would be, especially with all those threats. I mean, I even said it before. All the wide receivers and the tight ends they have should open up that running game a little bit more. And I guess it wasn't Jeremy's best. I mean, it wasn't his best day. And Gio, he had, some key runs and, of course, the TD. But in the end, they have to get that together, especially for playoff time. I mean, it's not too early to talk about it, but you know where you're going to be.
You don't want to lean on Andy Dalton. I mean, although he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league at this point, you don't want to lean on him every week. At some point, that running game is going to have to become a force again.
Well, and
I agree with you 100.
Yeah, the other thing too, as I was looking for, an answer as to why this thing changed, you got to go back, I think, to Adam Jones' 35-yard punt return. That was the way that the first Seattle series in the fourth quarter ended, and then 5 plays later, they're in the end zone with Nugent, and all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. And then their next possession they hold, and they come back, and on the next time they have the ball, the Bengals have the ball, they score again.
Yeah.
That punt return might have been what kind of flipped it.
Well, you look at any big plays that you have, anything, especially in special teams or if turnovers or things like that. I mean, that's going to get everybody back into the game, especially the way the crowd was into it. And I looked over at you, Keenan, yesterday, and I was like, man, this is loud. And it was extremely loud, and it was electric. And that gets steady motion going. Heck, I wanted to play. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I know these guys are ready, to take that next step. And, that's how you defend home.
I hope they have those kind of crowds moving forward for the rest of the year, because it's been a little dead at Paul Brown Stadium, to be frankly honest, for the first 2 home games of the year. But Sunday was amazing. I want to be in that kind of environment. I'm not a fan, but just as a fan of football, I want to be in that stadium, in that kind of gladiator arena. You about to say something, Matt?
Well, Rodney, I don't know if you did any returning the kicks, but did you see that play where they called Pac-Man, or Adam, for the illegal fair catch indication? And Brian and I didn't know. I mean, I saw the replay, and I know people were saying he waved, but we looked it up on the internet, and it said that for it to be a fair catch indication, he has to raise his arm up all the way over extend it all the way over his head and wave it back and forth. And when you look at the replay, he waved, but he never even got above his neck. And so I don't think it meets the legal indication. But I don't know what your thoughts were watching it, and if you've ever done any of that, being a DB. But it seemed like he kind of got screwed.
Well, I mean, I had returned several times in Minnesota. That was one of the things that was part of my game. So understanding what he was thinking, it looked like he was, at the time, it looked like he was trying to get someone out of the way, so to speak, because he kind of looked down and then looked back up. But in the end, that's a gray area right there. So whenever you do that, as quick as it was, that, being a ref, you have to be able to make those calls. And, I mean, do I agree with his call? No, of course not. But, in the end, Adam didn't really give him an opportunity. I mean, it could be either way. He could have did it either way, and he's not going to have, the NFL league or far as officials are not going to have anything negative to say about that call. I mean, they can look back and be like, hey, you missed that call, but I don't think Adam should have really put him in that situation.
Well, it's good to see you again, Rodney. Always great having you on.
All right. No problem, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, good luck to Lakota East. Who you got this week?
Say it again?
Who's Lakota East have this week?
Oh, we got Colerain.
Oh, buddy.
Well, we might be out there for that one.
Really good luck there. Yeah.
Good luck,
All
Rodney.
right.
Good to see you, man. Rodney
All right,
Heath,
man. Take it easy.
who's DB coach for Lakota
East.
East High School, and also the head track coach at Lakota East High School.
His daughters are amazing track stars.
Yeah.
He's the 4th best athlete in his family, he says.
Yeah, I believe it. Andy Dalton, again, I think, as we mentioned earlier, has done so far this year and exhibited again yesterday that he can make plays and, in essence, carry his team when it needs him the most. Should he be in the conversation after 5 weeks as the National Football League's most valuable player this season?
Undoubtedly, yes. When it comes to MVP, it's always the quarterback of the best team or a team that's doing really well is going to get MVP consideration. Do I think he's even the most valuable player on this team? Probably not.
Who would be?
I would say it'd probably be Geno. I think turning around that defensive
Really?
line. Yeah, that defensive line has become a force. They have 15 sacks this year. They had 20 last year. We're 5 games in, so that's an average of 3 a game. You've seen Carlos Dunlap become a force again. I think Geno, being there, again, rising all tides, has made this team where they want to be.
He's got 4 sacks? 4 sacks, Geno?
Geno has 4.5.
4.5. He's
Carlos
got to be
has 5.
He's got to be one of the.
And 5 leads the league.
I was
Yeah.
going to say 4.5 for an interior lineman. That has to be.
That's Warren Sapp stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a situation there. He could get 7, 8 sacks this year, maybe double digits.
Yeah, and that's from a defensive tackle.
Right.
I mean, that's cake.
And that's the way he was 2
Pre-injury,
years,
yeah.
2 years ago.
I mean, even Petco has a couple of sacks. Who would you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think a nose tackle like that would
Yeah.
have so many sacks. So I think even Michael Johnson, although he's still kind of slowly coming back, this defensive line is looking like it's dominant.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see the way Atkins played yesterday, because I keep expecting, maybe that knee isn't, but it is. It's absolutely.
Do you think Andy is in the MVP discussion?
Yes.
Absolutely, number one.
No, I don't think. I think there's several players in this league right now that should be included in that discussion, and who they are, the usual suspects.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. But I think you've got to at least say, hey, who's playing better than this dude right now?
Who's got it better than us?
Yeah, I started.
Rodgers,
I think
right?
I agree with at least part of what you said. I think if he's in the conversation, and if you're going to have a ballot where you fill out 3 deep or 5 deep, he would get a lot of 2s, 3s, and 3s and 4s.
Consideration.
But but right now I wouldn't put him ahead of Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady at all. But yeah, he's in the top 5 maybe of offensive players that get numbers, and that's what it's a popular thing. But when I watch Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady play, it just seems like they're
Rodney.
so in tune.
That play right there.
Right on the
Actually,
right.
that play right there, that was an MVP play. I mean, did he call it on his own, you think? And
Yeah, he saw that there were
that's
no
a big play.
linebackers behind
Yeah.
the defensive line,
Right.
and he just saw it wide open. It was a Tom Brady-esque
Yeah,
play.
I mean,
This
that's
is
a
a-
moxie play,
We got a bromance going on
Yeah.
here? What is this?
That's after he scored that 5-yard touchdown.
I
love
He's
you,
getting-
man.
He's getting hugged.
Oh, my goodness.
That's him diving forward right
Yeah,
there.
but that's a
Yeah.
heads-up play.
And they said I was reading a story on the internet, and they said Hugh said that when at the end of the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, he comes over and him and Dalton are talking, and Hugh said he was kind of getting down because they're down 17 points, and Andy Dalton looked at him and said, "Come on, Hugh, we got plenty of time. We're going to win this game." And I was just like, "What?" You would think it would be the exact opposite, that Hugh would never give up, but he said Hugh was hanging his head down.
Can't catch the gingerbread man.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, it was a ginger
What?
joke. You can't catch the gingerbread man.
HR? In the long legacy of WCPO,
Very long legacy.
we have so many people that have worked here that have gone on to greatness. People that have learned at the knee of others at this station and then have gone out to forge their own destiny and carry the banner of WCPO to great heights. And right now we have somebody who fits that description.
Who is it, kid?
Joining us by Skype from ESPN.
No. Sorry, on phone. I lied. If I
On
wrote
the
that
phone?
down, on the phone. That's right.
There he is.
He's very busy. I think he's getting ready for Monday Night Football. Bob, how are you doing this afternoon?
Ken completely oversold me. In that
But it's a good picture of you,
what's
Bob.
going on.
Bob, it's a great picture we got up. You're smiling. The tie's a little askew. You kind of look like a working journalist.
Well, I can. One thing you said is true. I am a former WCPO employee. I don't know about going on the great, but I appreciate that.
Where are you today, if anywhere?
I am honestly about 12 minutes from you guys. I am home in Cincinnati.
So this is one of the rare days when you're actually home, but you were on the road last week, right?
He was at the Bengals.
I've been
game.
on the road. It feels like nonstop, but I was at the game yesterday,
Yeah.
Bengals Seahawks game, which was a lot of fun.
I just saw you. You were in Indianapolis last week too, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
It was Indianapolis, Houston. I've been all over.
Yeah, no, I watch. You may only do straight comedy, but I'll ask this anyway. What were your impressions of the Bengals yesterday?
I guess impressed, first of all. I mean, in talking to guys after the game, you certainly got the impression that even they would admit that that's not a game they win last year or really any previous year. I mean, they got down 17. I turned to my coworker in the press box and said it's over. And I don't know how anybody could have thought otherwise. But, you know, this team proved a lot yesterday. They proved you can never count them out. They proved that they can play with the big dogs. And I think the perception, had they lost yesterday, would have been, yeah, here we go again. They're good, but they're not, you know, elite level. I think beating Seattle changes that. And you know, now I think the question becomes, what the one perception they can't change, at least until January, is the whole playoff thing. But I think they've changed, at least short term, what people think of them nationwide.
This has the feeling, I'm not sure if you're around here, but this has the feeling of 1988 when they strung together. I think they went 6-0, I think, that year before they actually lost. And I believe they lost in New England. But it has that feeling that the team feels like it can do really things it can't do, but yet manages to pull them off. It's infectious what's going on there. I just sense it. I don't know how you put this in context globally with the NFL, Bob, but I have the feeling that not only has this team caught a lot of the nation by surprise, I think they might have caught themselves by surprise with some of this stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever admit it, but I think that's probably true. I mean, I think this team has grown, and the roster hasn't changed a whole lot the past 2 years, and I think that's a good thing, that this team's sort of grown up together. I had an interesting conversation with Andre Smith in the locker room late yesterday afternoon, and he said, you know, they've lost, obviously, in the playoffs the first round the last 4 years, and the way he put it was, we're tired of getting to the door and not getting in. And I think that their goal is not to start 5-0 or to win the division or to go 12-4 or to whatever. Their goal is to win a playoff game, to go deep in playoffs. And I think the risk of having a goal like that is that it puts even more pressure on you once you get there, because you've worked since January to prove to people you can, since July, to prove to people that you can win in January. And then once you get there, there's a bunch of pressure to begin with, and then if you put all this extra pressure on yourself, I would still be concerned, and I will be concerned when we get to January. But, you know, that's looking way down the road, and obviously they're off to a great start and in great shape in the division.
Is there any chatter when you're out, like in Indianapolis or Houston or any place? Does anybody talk about the Bengals, or is that kind of things that other teams don't talk about?
Yeah, you know, it's mostly media people. I mean, I don't hear players talking about other teams too often, but definitely everywhere I go, you know, people know where I'm from or ask where I'm from. It's always, whoa, Bengals are off to a good start, aren't they? I think there's no question that they've caught people's attention.
Yeah.
I was listening before I came on about the MVP discussion, and I'm not sure I'm ready to put Andy in that conversation yet, but I think, again, it's a perception thing. You think back 6 weeks ago, before the season started, what the perception was of Andy Dalton to what it is now. Even having this conversation is a huge step forward.
It's crazy how fickle and how things change just like that. Even you see another Houston guy. I'm a Houston guy, so I'm going to shout out these guys. But Andrew Luck, a guy that was, you know, top 3 quarterback. You see him have some struggles, and now he's totally out of discussion. Yeah. Obviously, he's been injured, but then you see him kind of flip places with Andy Dalton, and who would have expected that 5 weeks into the season?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Hey, Bob, you said you were talking to Andre Smith. How was he after the game? How was he feeling? Because he
said he was fine.
Yeah, he said he was okay.
Did he?
Yeah, he was out and came back in, so I don't expect any issues with him. So It seemed like, I mean, knock on wood, they've been amazingly healthy so far, and it seemed like they were yesterday afternoon as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bob, it's always great having you on. And where are you this week, if anywhere? You going to Buffalo or some other place? Where are you off to?
I am indeed. I've got Bengals duty Wednesday, and then I'm headed to Buffalo this weekend. So get another week of Cincinnati.
Well, try the wings up there. I hear they're good.
I always do.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, guys.
Bob Holtzman, ESPN. We get all the big guys on this show.
Some studs.
We get all the big guys on this show.
We've made. Oh wait, no, we've made some serious progress.
Yeah.
Down on Fountain Square.
Oh.
Yes.
Is Satin there?
He's Satin, and look who he's got with us. Talk to us, Mr. Satin.
Hey, what's happening, you guys? How you guys doing?
Good, Satin. What do you got?
So check this out. So, earlier when I was complaining about not getting one of those donuts and those cookies smelling through there, my smell-o-vision caught fire, and we're joined now by Alex here. Alex, what's happening, buddy?
Hi, my name's Alex. I work for Graders on Fountain Square, and we're just welcoming everyone here onto the square with some ice cream and some cookies.
So look at these cookies, you guys. We got the Bengal cookies right here representing. Now the sweet tooth is going to be had. So, I'm feeling pretty good now. I wanted to ask Alex a question, man. What do you think about the Bengals this year?
I really like the Bengals, how they're looking this year. I really like to see Andy Dalton, actually, how he's matured this year. It's really nice to see him calling audibles and everything like that, and really taking control of the team and really representing as a leader of that team.
Boom.
Yeah, Satin, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, for your boy Alex. Are those donuts and cookies and ice cream free? And if they are, how soon can you get back here?
Yeah, do they deliver?
Unfortunately, they aren't free, but we're more than willing to serve you guys down here on the square.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got the money. Okay, good.
We got the logo on the background.
You guys, we got free Udays all day.
You got to work. You got to work on them for us, Mr. Satin. You got to do a little work down there. While we're off camera, do a little finesse. Okay, show a little.
Don't come back without any food, Satin.
see what I'm getting down here? Hey, I'm making the connections. I'm hooking up with Alex at Graders here. I'm trying to get some cookies to bring back. I think we're almost there, you guys. What do you think?
You've made some serious progress. We appreciate it.
Alex, you have a question?
Yeah, Alex, you got a question for us?
I mean,
what do you? Do you have? What about for Brew? You got anything for Brew?
Honestly,
Okay, good work.
Alex sells cookies for a living.
Yeah. Some fantasy questions.
Yeah.
Who do I replace Jamal Charles with this week?
Oh,
if you were a smart man, and I'm not saying that you're not, but you would have already picked up Niall Davis. You got to, when you have Jamal Charles, you have to have Niall Davis with him.
I got him on waiver wire for this week already after that injury.
Good.
I like that West guy though. He's looking pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see who's running that backfield.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Alex, thanks for bringing out the cookies that aren't free, but they look good. Satin.
Hey, maybe you guys are getting some cookies in your future. You never know.
No, you never know. Satin. Here's the deal, man. Since they're not free, you just got to buy them and expense them. Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, we got the Satin, donut cookie fund coming up.
Good.
Right?
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Send donuts off to school. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Cookie.
We'll be back down there, Mr. Satin. Get somebody else to talk to us.
Satin,
You bet. Take care, you guys.
Good. One of the things in the AFC North now, with the Bengals winning their 5-0, this is what it means. It means that they're 2.5 up on the Steelers.
A chasm between themselves and the rest of the division.
Steelers got to win tonight if they want to stay 2 back. The Browns are 3
they're
back.
not going to do.
Browns are 3 back, and the Ravens are 4 back. That's what it is. But you don't think the Steelers are going to win tonight?
No.
I think they are.
No.
They're on the road in San Diego.
On the road to San Diego without Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
No, Phillip Rivers is good.
And Antonio Gates is making his return from his PED suspension. I'm curious to see how he's going to look in his first game back.
Yeah, you're right.
Season.
They're not going to win. Yeah, Chargers win tonight. I didn't realize Gates was back. That's right. He was gone the first 4. Yeah, they can't. Their defense Steelers' defense is not good.
They're not going to be able to contain those guys.
No, not at all.
And we had the big Cleveland matchup yesterday.
If someone were to say to you, who has thrown for the most yards
in
Browns history, you would have to have been on some sort of hallucinogenic to say Josh McCown.
Spurgeon Wynn didn't do it?
Spurgeon Wynn did not do it. If you went to
Bernie
Tampa and
Kosar.
asked anybody about Josh McCown and then said he threw for 457 yards, they would have said, in a season?
If you would ask the Chicago Bears fan from, 2013 season, they might have believed it. But yeah, those Tampa fans, they want to forget that season.
The Ravens are in trouble. First of all, they couldn't stop Cleveland. They couldn't. They had no clue for Isaiah Crowell. This guy was making plays left and right. The Ravens' defense is terrible. I mean, I can't tell you how bad the Ravens' defense is.
It's a lost season in Baltimore.
And the kid from Cleveland, Barnage, makes this catch where the ball's in
Gary
between
Barnage,
his legs, and he kicks it up in the air and he grabs it. It was a phenomenal catch. He couldn't replicate it if he had 100 tries.
That's crazy that that's considered a catch, but you extend the ball over the goal line and it gets knocked out, and that's not a catch.
Cleveland comes here on Thursday night, and remember the last time Cleveland was here on a Thursday night, it was Ougley.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure the Browns are stiffs this year. I think they're playing better. I think their defense actually isn't bad.
They do well in the division. I think
they do very well.
I mean, they're built for the division.
Yeah, given the overall records of the two clubs, the Bengals should win 75% of the games in the last 10 or 15 years, and they don't. They split with them almost on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And they had that one game a few years ago where they scored like 100 points when they lost. But
division games.
Yes.
All right, so let's do our 2-minute drill. How about that? Bengals are a 1.5 favorite against the Bills on Sunday. You know, to me, it should be more than that. I know the Bills play well. Their defense is pretty darn good.
Great defense.
I mean, Marcus Mariota, they confounded that kid yesterday. But they play pretty good. But I still am not sold on Tyrod Taylor. I don't
think you ever are going to be sold.
No,
on
I don't think anybody.
Taylor.
I think Mrs. Taylor is not sold on Tyrod Taylor. They pulled a play out yesterday against Tennessee. It was a direct snap. And he threw it to handed it to Chris Hogan, who was coming around, a wide receiver.
And they passed it back to him.
And Hogan threw it to Tyrod Taylor. So they've got a little imagination going on up there. But Buffalo.
It's a Rex Ryan team, and I like Rex, but it doesn't really seem like his teams really do much. They make a lot of noise.
He makes a lot of noise.
He makes a lot of noise, but I don't know if there's really a lot of substance.
They beat the Bengals in the playoffs, is what they do.
Yeah,
but everyone does, right?
When they did that?
Yeah,
it was.
They're on the right track up there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Tyrod Taylor is going to be the guy that gets.
He might not be the long-term guy. He's a little small. He kind of has a limited kind of passing window that he can really get things into.
But they are playing good defense, and Buffalo has never been an easy place for Cincinnati to go and play. Doesn't matter what time of the year.
No, but I can't believe that line.
1.5?
Yeah.
It's a road game.
Well, okay.
You guys think it'll be a high-scoring game, or
what's 5-0 get you?
Well, what 5-0 gets you is that
5-0.
You're favored on the road.
Yeah, but first of all, a line is set. It's an arbitrary number to.
It's based on opinion.
They want but what
50-50.
they want to do is they want to suck money from Cincinnati and they want to suck money from Buffalo. So what that line will do is it'll move depending on where the money comes in. Now, if you're Cincinnati, you're hopping on that like juice.
Right, but the objective of the line is to get money on the same amount of money on both sides.
Exactly.
So they believe that is the mindset of the typical NFL fan, is that the Bengals will barely beat the Bills.
But I guarantee,
which probably is true. But you would just think a 5-0 team playing a 2-2 team or something like that.
I'll guarantee you that line is 3 before kickoff. I'll guarantee you that line goes to Buffalo +3 at kickoff because they want to get Buffalo money.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're Cincinnati right now, you're hopping on it at 1.5. You're hopping on that at 1.5, and you are banging the under on that.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're banging the under big time. You should have banged the under on this game on Sunday. I don't know what the over-under was. I think it was low 40s.
I will till the line goes up and then bet on the Bengals straight, and it's better odds.
Bet on them straight.
To win. If you don't bet on them with the line, then you get more odds in your favor. If the Bengals are 3-point favorites or 3-point underdogs, I got that backwards. I got that backwards. I apologize.
Do you do that locally with somebody?
I do it on the internet. It's out of Antigua, I think.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought perhaps it was someone out of Withamsville that you were calling for.
Ron Peters.
Yeah, it could be. We've had a good show today.
Great show. A lot of great guests.
A lot of great guests.
But no donuts, Graders.
Hopefully Satin's bringing back some donuts.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The caravan.
We're on every Monday at 1 o'clock. Tell your friends. If you've missed any part of the show, remember, it's there 24/7, 365 on WCPO.com.
Get the podcast.
And it's on iTunes as well. So we'll see you next week after the Bengals go to 6-0 on the most definitive show on the web about your Cincinnati Bengals. That's the Flying Pigskin, and only on WCPO.com.